Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. I promised I will make clam chowder today, and so here we are. Let's get started. So I have 12 pieces of bacon chopped up and sliced, and no oil, no butter, no nothing. I just put it in the pan and I saute it for a couple of minutes. So this is what it looks like. We're gonna saute this until it gets nice and red. I had already preheated my my pan, and so we're just gonna saute this a little bit until it's nice and red. But make sure it's not too red so that it won't burn. The actual recipe actually calls for 6 pieces of bacon, but me and my husband, we love bacon, so we're gonna put 12 pieces of bacon in there. And then while that's heating up, we are going to take 3 pieces of celery sticks and 1 carrot. Wash it up, cut it up, and let's chop it up. Make sure you have the stove on medium heat. You don't want to be burning the bacon. You can cut up the celery and the carrots to your preference. I like it pretty tiny, so depends on how you like it. Make sure your bacon doesn't burn. Let's put it down a little bit. So all we're doing right now is just chopping up the celery and the carrots. We are using three celeries and 1 carrot. This recipe that I'm going to make right now, it yields an estimated 8 to 10 people. If you want to make it more, you could just double the recipe, no problem. And that will yield about 16 people or so. Make sure you get the carrots nice and small. Make sure to keep an eye on the bacon. For whoever just tuned in, we are making clam chowder today. It's one of my favoriteest recipes of all time. So over here we have the carrots, which is 1 large carrot. And then now we are going to chop up the celery really fine. This is an English cream clam chowder. If you have any questions, please do ask. I will have the recipe on the bottom in a little bit. I am going to turn off the bacon because it is pretty nice and red by now. We're almost finished cutting up the celery. This is the perfect dish for when it's really cold outside during the winter time. And it's really good because it's creamy. Not too thin, not too thick, but it's just perfect. Okay, you guys, so this is what it looks like. Okay. So this is what your bacon should look like. Pretty dark, not too light, not too dark. Now we are going to strain the bacon. We're going to take the bacon out. You want to strain the bacon as much as you can because we don't want it to be too oily, because the clam chowder itself is already pretty dense and pretty fattening. You want to get all the pieces in there. If a few bits or whatever is left, that's fine, no worries. A few pieces are not gonna kill nobody. So this is what your bacon should look like. Nice and crispy. Once you got that out, set the bacon to the side, and then in a large heavy pot, which we're using right over here, we are not straining the juices from the bacon. Please do leave that inside. Do not strain the juices. And then so to that, we're going to add the celery and the carrots. We're going to add it right in. Make sure you get all the pieces in there. And then, so we're just going to saute the carrots and the celery to where it's a little thin, not thin, not too dense. You don't want it too crispy under your tooth. So we're just going to saute for about 5 to 7 minutes. We're just sauteing the carrots and the celery inside the bacon fat. Like I said again, I did not use no butter. I didn't use no oil. I just threw in the bacon by itself. And this is a non-stick pan, so it does not stick whatsoever. And then I'm just sauteing the carrots and the celery inside the bacon fat. Vegetables, that's why I like to cut it really fine. The bigger that you leave the vegetables, the harder it's going to saute, and it's going to take way longer. So you want to chop it up really finely. I have my heat on medium-high, so I could saute a little faster. And then while that's going on over there, I do have 4 clams, which I drained. This is the juice, and this is the clams. You do not want to discard the juice. We're going to be using the juice, so please do not discard the juice. Also over here, I have 5 potatoes, and I do keep it inside the water because they do tend to go bad really quickly. So we are sauteing the vegetables. Let me show you guys what it's supposed to look like. Oh, we have a little piece of bacon in there, but that's fine. You want to make sure the celery and the carrots are nice and tender. A little soft, not too hard. Put it down a little bit, the heat. Just because I did put too much bacon in there, that's why it's frothing up like this, but that's fine. That's totally normal. No worries. We are going to put the heat on low for the froth to go away. And while that is cooking, we are going to take our onion. So over here, I have one large onion, which is a white large onion. And we are going to cut that up. While the celery and the carrots are sauteing up. I love onions. Onions and garlic are my favorite thing. So we are going to chop this up. Try not to cry when you are cutting the onions. I know it's really bad, but I made myself a little trash can right there. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead and feel free to comment below. Don't be shy. I will answer all your questions as much as I can. We are going to just chop up one onion and one onion only. No more is necessary. That's fine. That's more than enough. There's no need to chop it up really finely because once you saute it, they do tend to shrink, so that's fine, no problem at all. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. It smells so good in here with the smell of the bacon. It just smells absolutely amazing. Just trying to get the onions finely chopped. If you guys have any recipes that you guys would like to watch in the future, please feel free to comment below, and we will make it, and I will put it on the menu for next week. Okay. So here's my onions. We're gonna add this to the pot. And then we're just gonna keep on mixing until all the vegetables are pretty tender, fork tender. Smells great in here. While that's cooking, I'm gonna finish cutting up the rest of my onion. By the way, thank you so much for all my supporters, all my texts, all my calls. I never, ever, ever thought that I would be getting so much compliments and wonderful feedback and pictures and messages. Without you guys, without all your support, I would not be standing here and going live and trying to make something for you guys in a million years. But thanks for all my supporters, all my friends, all the texts, all the calls. Without you guys, this is not possible, and I would not have went forward, I promise you. So we're going to go ahead and add the remaining onions. And the bottom is going to get a little darker. The pot is going to get a little darker on the sides and on the bottoms, and you do want that. Like I said, this is a non-stick pan. It is not going to stick, but it is going to brown. But you do want the browning on the bottom. That's what makes the food more delicious. Yes, I do have an iPad next to me. I use this because I have all my recipe and my directions and everything on this. So I am looking to the side to look at my recipe. Smells delicious in here. I love you more. I love each and every one of you. Once you do fry once you put your bacons in the pan and you do fry them, I do suggest putting them on top of a paper towel so that it can suck in the oil a little bit more. But if you don't want to, like I did, I just threw it in a I just threw it in a plate. You should be fine. And it does give it a few more minutes to get crispier because it is right out of the pan. So we're going to add the remaining onions. If you guys can only smell this, it smells so amazing in here. And my vegetables are getting a little fork tender. We are getting there. And I do have the potatoes, like I said, inside water. Please never, ever, ever leave the potatoes out by themselves, because if you do, they are going to start get brown. They are going to get brown, and they do get brown really, really fast. So I suggest to keep it inside something like this. And make sure you do your clams like this as well, so you can reserve the juice and you can also have the clams. Let me show you guys what the vegetables should look like. Once the onions, see the browning? Once the onions are translucent, not so white, they are translucent, that's when you know they become tender, fork tender. This is what you're looking for. Smells amazing. So now we are going to add a little bit of flour, all-purpose flour. This is all-purpose white flour. It's not dessert Diane John. It's we're making clam chowder. Give it one more mix. So the recipe does call for half a cup of flour, and like I said in my previous video, I love to use the measuring cups. So we are adding a half a cup of flour to the vegetables. Slowly, and there we go. So we did just add the flour. This is what you want. Make sure you incorporate all of the flour. This is what you want it to look like. Okay, and then at this point, we are going to add the clam juice. Once we got this all incorporated, we are going to add the clam juice right now. This is from 4 cans of clam, which is almost 24 ounces. There you go. It smells like clam chowder already. Smells amazing. So now that we've added the flour and the clam juice, it will start to get a little bit thicker. And I do have my gas, my stove on medium-high heat. And then now we are going to add some water. So the recipe does call for 1/3 of water. So we will add water right now. Once we add our water, at this point, we are going to add 1 cup of heavy whipping cream and 1 cup of regular full fat milk. Make sure you get every drop. So that was 1 cup of heavy whipping cream and 1 cup of regular full fat milk. It is going to take about 15 minutes or so until it gets fully thickened. And then at this point, we're gonna turn down the heat and we are going to cut our potatoes. The potato size, you do want to cut it in little cubes like this so they can cook a little faster. The thicker you leave the vegetables, the longer it is going to get fork tender. So that's 1 potato. At this point, I will put up the stove a little bit because I did already add the potatoes. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Sorry, I am working in a very tiny kitchen, but the recipe does call for 5 potatoes. You can add more or you can add less. Some people don't like potatoes at all. I'm not such a big fan of it, so but since today I am going live, I will just go with the recipe and add 5 potatoes. My next live, I would like to make Cheesecake Factory's chicken marsala over pasta. If you guys want to see it, drop a comment. I also do have a new YouTube account. I would surely really deeply appreciate it if you guys can follow my new YouTube channel. The link is on my Facebook. Also, you can search Yummy Eats by Christine. It's Y-U-M-M-Y. Yummy Eats, E-A-T-S, by Christine, K-R-I-S-T-I-N-E. Please make sure you like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. So we are adding the rest of the potatoes in here. Oh, where did that go? For the soup, you would want to reserve some of your bacon to garnish off. When you are finished with the soup, you can use it for garnishing. If you don't want to, that's fine. You could just throw it all in there, no problem. We are cutting up the 5th potato. And also, regarding the potatoes, I did not use russet potatoes because they do take forever to cook. So I am using the golden potatoes, which are the tinier ones. They do tend to bake, not bake. They do tend to cook quickly, rather than the russet potatoes, which I hate. There we go. So I do have the stove again on medium-high heat. This will allow the potatoes to become fork tender. And you do want to simmer it for about 15 minutes or so. You can garnish the clam chowder with parsley, or you can garnish it with bacon pieces, whatever you like. It's on your preference. And if you don't know what clams look like, they look like this. They are super amazing. They taste really good. If you guys have any questions, let me know, please. Yes, Sahak, I will bring you some clam chowder soon. Don't worry. Once I'm finished. We are going to season it with salt. Let me see if I have some pepper. I'm not such a big fan on pepper, but we will add some. The salt and the pepper is yet again, on your preference, however you'd like. Some people like a lot of salt. I personally don't like a lot of salt, so. Adi, Jan Jan, Adi. Okay. At this point, we will be adding the clams, so 4 cans of clams right into the chowder. This is an English clam chowder, so it is thicker, it is creamier. So you can use half and half, you can use just milk, but my recipe personally, I like it a little thicker, so I am using heavy whipping cream. It is not regular cream, it is heavy whipping cream, which has the fat content. It's a little bit more than half and half. Half and half is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, about 12% fat. Heavy whipping cream is about 30 to 35 more, 30 to 35% fat, which does give it its creaminess. You want it to simmer. So like I said, this is our bacon right here, which is nice and crispy. We are going to add that in. If you guys can only smell it, oh my god, it smells amazing. Go ahead and incorporate the bacon very well. Looks amazing, doesn't it? So at this point, you just want it to slowly simmer. That's all we want. We don't want it to boil. We don't want it to burn. Actually, I am using a non-stick pot. It will not stick, but you just want it to simmer. I am just going to keep on mixing. Smells amazing, guys. So we're just waiting for those little bubbles to pop up. Smells amazing. I will have the recipe down below, you guys, after my video is finished. Feel free to comment, share, and like. I will post my YouTube videos. Please subscribe and like. You will know when your soup is ready when your potatoes are fork tender. So let's check. Almost there. Almost. Like I said, I do like to use golden potatoes as opposed to the russet potatoes, because russet potatoes really do cook really late. They do take forever, as opposed to the yellows. They do cook very fast, and they are way yummier inside clam chowder, personally. It's a simple dish. I love it. I'm sure you guys will love the recipe as well. If you do make it, please do take pictures of it, send it to me, post it on my page, whatever you would like. A few more minutes on the potatoes. Add a little bit more salt. Today's video is something really quick. Sorry, you guys, because I do have an order for tomorrow. So I need to get started on my other orders. If you like, it's on preference again. You can add some fresh garlic, or I'm just too lazy right now, so I am going to just put a little bit of garlic powder. Just a little bit, not too much. Excuse the view. Ah, smells amazing. At this point, it is starting to boil up really fast, so you do want to keep on mixing it. It is not going to get burned. My pot is a non-stick, no worries. We are just waiting on the potatoes for them to get fork tender. Let me show you. Simmering. Looks amazing, huh? Any questions, you guys? Go ahead and ask me. Feel free. Only if you guys could smell what it... Oh my god, it smells amazing. What do you guys want to see next? I do have beef stroganoff coming up on the list, and then I do have Cheesecake Factory's copycat chicken Marcella coming up, and then I do have Stalichny salad coming up, which is my all-time favorite. But knowing us Armenians, we only make it from Christmas to Christmas, so I will have that coming up. You do want to keep on mixing. Cheese raviolis, you got it, no problem. I will make sure to keep that on the list as well. This is Tamara's request, so that is why I am making clam chowder today. You guys can thank Tamara. Let's see if our clam chowder is ready. If you want to know if your clam chowder is ready or not, basically what you do is take a piece of potato, which is right here, and then just stick your fork into it. If it goes straight right through it, then you know it's ready. But give it about 2 more minutes or so. Oh, girl, I know how to make the bomb tolma. My tolma is amazing. So at this point, we are going to put the heat down just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. But we are continuing to mix. Ooh, my iPad is about to get burned. So this is what it looks like. Celery, bacon, potatoes, carrots, some clams. It's amazing, you guys. It's really simple and it's really delicious, especially for winter. If you have some friends coming over, something really fast, something simple to make, which everybody will love. And yes, brother, I will make salmon with caprese. And then I will also make my famous salmon with the secret ingredients. You guys will just have to wait until I make it that day. Sorry, I'm not gonna reveal it now. But it is salmon to die for. I do love seafood.